Anthony Joshua. Who is Anthony Joshua?
That is a great question.
Here's what we found out when we asked people, who is Anthony Joshua? Do you know who Anthony Joshua is?
Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh my God, what, like the biggest heavyweight star in the world?
Yes, we do, and we look forward to seeing him fight, and America loves him.
The guy that's going to beat up Deontay Wilder.
Oh no, man. Deontay's a beast.
So is Joshua.
You sure about that?
Oh, we sure?
Yeah, he's standing behind you. I'm only kidding.
He's a heavyweight champion.
What do you think of him?
He's a big guy.
I mean, he's just a freak athlete. He's impressive to watch. I think anybody would appreciate that.
Can he make it in America?
Sure.
What does he need to do?
Win?
Win.
Do you know who is Anthony Joshua?
No idea.
WBA? WBO?
No.
IBF? IBO? You know who Anthony Joshua is? Who's Anthony Joshua?
Why the squirrels out here are gangster?
Oh, Anthony Joshua. Oh, Anthony Joshua.
Oh, Anthony Joshua. Cheeky Sport Dave and Mr. Gareth A. Davis live and direct in Madison Square Garden. Gareth, what are we doing here?
This is a major occasion, the last set piece, the weigh-ins before Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz walk out to fight just about over there on the other side of that screen in just over maybe 30 hours time. 3 world title belts on the line. Anthony Joshua making his US debut against this Mexican-American who's come in on 6 weeks notice. This is a major occasion for boxing for Anthony Joshua and for a lot of British boxers who are all on this card. And an Irish boxer in Katie Taylor who's trying to unify the women's lightweight division against the Belgian Delphine Pearson. Callum Smith defending his super middleweight world #1 spots. You got Tommy Coyle, Josh Kelly, Joshua Buatsi. They're calling this the British invasion for very good reason. We're about to see all of them weigh in. We've had a spectacular week in Manhattan, and as I say, this is the final set piece. In front of us here, there's 5,000 fans who've all come in. Most of them flown in. They've got a late weigh-in today to allow the fans to get here in time. It's absolutely banging in here. We've been in here about an hour already. The atmosphere's been building. This is a hallowed place, a hallowed venue for major fight nights.
Absolutely. Now, it's been an incredible week together with you this week, creating some exceptional content across Sport Bible, across Seconds Out, across IFL TV, and across William Hill too. It's been an amazing week. On top of that, we opened the show today showing our video that we created with Anthony Joshua, Who is AJ, where we went around New York, over across the bridge to Brooklyn. We spoke to some fans out there, and some normal people just asking who is Anthony Joshua, seeing if they know who he is, what they think of him, and what he needs to do to make it big in America.
Well, we did, and you know, it was great fun making that video. I'm staying just a stone's throw across the road here from Madison Square Garden, Penn Station next to it here. We're in central Manhattan, and right above us, right here, just in fact outside, on 2 massive billboards every 5 minutes for about a minute, are 2 huge posters of Anthony Joshua bedecked in Hugo Boss suits. He looks fantastic. This is his opportunity, this is his platform to become a major star in America. We've seen it down time, across time in fight sports. You can make it huge in Europe, and he's been bigger than anyone, filling stadiums of 80 and 90,000 people. But you've still got to come to America. That's the thing, you've got to conquer the American market.
Absolutely. Now, right behind us, Mr. David Diamante is literally just about starting. Let's hand it over to him for a little while.
Okay, let's have a listen.
Saturday night's historic night of boxing action. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearns, Matchroom Boxing USA. But before we begin, we've got some big stars from the world of boxing, from the UK and from around the world. So ladies and gentlemen, let's first bring up from Manchester, the former lightweight champion of the world, Anthony $1 Million Crowler. All right. Now let's bring up the Sheriff of Nottingham, former 4-time champion of the world. Ladies, he just got married. He just flew in from Italy. Carl, the Cobra Frotch. From Liverpool, former light middleweight champion of the world, a Scouser. He's one of the 4 Fighting Smith brothers. Please welcome Liam Smith. Beefy Smith.
You know what? He's chasing rematches after that brilliant fight with Dillian White, after that brilliant fight with Anthony Joshua. So, you know, what's happening is there's such a big play going on over here at the moment with DAZN, with top-ranked DAZN, and ESPN Plus, of course. Everyone's fighting for the digital space in getting the audience for fight sports.
Absolutely. Now,
George Groves,
yeah, as you can see,
stage looking very big.
He is looking very big.
He's looking like a heavyweight.
Eddie's bringing absolutely everybody
George
over.
Groves and Carl Frotch chatting there. Unbelievable.
There's an hilarious video of you and Carl Frotch going hand to hand, or leg to face.
That's old news now. George Groves up there.
Beefy.
Beefy's up there. Beefy Smith is up there. Alexander Usyk about to come up on stage. They're all in town. This is what I mean about Madison Square Garden being the kind of place which draws everyone to see it.
Absolutely.
You know, we get that in Vegas. It's brilliant to get it in New York as well.
It's incredible. I mean, just so you guys can see, we've got Alexander Usyk sporting some nice LV Louis Vuitton slippers. On top of that, I've also just spotted Mr. Derek Chisora down there.
He is indeed. I wonder if he's going to get the call up in a minute or not. You know, it's a great thing for Derek to be here as well. Here's Matthew Macklin coming up on stage now. We're getting a parade of ex-champions here.
It's beautiful. It's incredible. Even the sound of the cheers every single time somebody's get called up. It's incredible.
Well, most of the fans in here are British anyway. That's why they are celebrating these guys. Alexander Usyk, of course, fought Tony Bellew in Liverpool, and here's Joseph Parker going up and saying, "We're sticking for Tony Bellew for a minute." You wait till Tony comes up. He looks like him. He's up on stage now. Of course, Parker and Usyk may fight at some point. Usyk looks big at the moment, doesn't he?
Absolutely. There's a video been circulating right now of Joseph Parker training in the same camp with your good friend Mr. Tyson Fury.
Well, of course, Tyson's in Las Vegas ahead of his fight on June the 15th against Tom Schwartz, the young unbeaten German. And of course, Joseph Parker based in Las Vegas with Kevin Barry at his home and their gym there, just behind a dentist, by the way. And that's what they say. They bring in the sparring partners, they knock their teeth out, and then they send them around the dentist to get them repaired.
That's absolute class. Absolute class. Oh, who is it? Johnny Nelson. Oh, Johnny Nelson.
Undefeated through 13 world title fights, reigning champion for 7 years. Look at him in that
picture. Look at him moonwalking on stage.
Eddie Hearn can do that as well in those, what's he got, Louis Vuitton,
yeah, Louis Vuitton
shoes on there today. It's a bit of a celebration, this, isn't it? It's a coming out party, but it's the big show because AJ's here. Like I said, 80 and 90 and 80 and 90,000 people getting into the stadiums in his fights in the UK. But here's the big stage in America. Here and Las Vegas are the two big venues. There's Floyd Mayweather coming out, look. No, it's not.
It's Devin Haney.
No, I'm joking. It's Devin Haney.
You could have easily mistaken him for Floyd Mayweather. He's in a nice little Gucci t-shirt as well.
Listen, he's the kind of guy that boxes already early in his career, like Floyd did it early in his career, yes, believe it or not, before Floyd became very defensive. He's going to be one of the lightweight stars of the future, Devin Haney. I think he's a terrific fighter. Terrific acquisition to the stable, Devon Haney. I really do think he's going to be one of the lightweight stars of the world.
What is it about him that you? What is it about him in the way in which he fights that gives you that
he's just got brilliant fast twitch fibre. He's got everything you need. He's got brilliant counter punching. He's very aggressive as a fighter. He's got everything you don't need to be facing, basically. He's one of those. Feel the drums! Feel the drums in here. It's quite amazing.
What a picture is that, isn't it?
No,
what
it's
an
amazing. Absolutely amazing. And George Groves looks like the heaviest man out there.
He's going to be watching the stream later.
Yeah.
He's going to be watching the stream later. He's going to be hearing everything you're saying about him.
Frampton, now we've got Frampton coming up. Well, there's a few others that I know who are here and come up. Tony Bellew's not up there yet, is he? Where is he? Where's Tony Bellew?
I have no idea. Derek Chisora.
Derek's over there. Derek's over there as well. Listen, this is going to go on for hours, isn't it?
It's absolutely...
It's the parade of champions.
Yeah, it's star-studded, isn't it? It's absolutely star-studded.
No, it's fantastic. And you know what? The fans are loving this. That's what people have paid the big bucks to do. To come out here, to watch the fight, to soak up New York on it. It's a wonderful sun-drenched day outside.
Especially after yesterday.
Oh, well, drenched is the word. We had a walk in Central Park when we were doing some of those interviews. I've never been as wet. We literally swam home, didn't we? But for the fans, to be able to, the fans will mingle with all these fighters afterwards outside,
Absolutely.
Get their autographs, get their photographs, get the selfies. So it's just a celebration of all that's great about British boxing right now.
Absolutely. Look, credit to Mr. Eddie Hearn. He's put on an absolute spectacle. And the weigh-in hasn't even started. For those of you that have just joined us, listen, we're here live and direct in Madison Square Garden for the official weigh-in for Joshua and Ruiz.
Hashtag Joshua Ruiz. And it is about to start because I can see the little white. Stop poking me in the face with that mic. The thing, you nearly knocked me out with it. It's a heavy mic.
Well, it is a boxing venue.
It's a very heavy mic. But anyway, the scales are there. There are tiny little white scales. You can see them on the stage. We are about to begin. We're going to give you the weights as we go along, traditionally. And of course, it'd be interesting to see. Ruiz weighed about 270 pounds for his last fight. So it'll be interesting to see if he has dropped weight, and interesting to see if Anthony Joshua said he wanted to be about 112 kilos. He was about 115 when he fought Vladimir Klitschko at Wembley in 2017 on that glorious night. As we've had this discussion, I think the biggest fight and the biggest victory of his career that night. But this is a really big one for him because he needs to soak up the pressure. He needs to make a statement after Deontay Wilder did the same thing a couple of weeks ago across the river here at the Hudson. And I'm going to have a little bit of water because it's warm in here.
It is very, very warm in here, and it's very, very, very warm outside.
But I do think that whatever Anthony Joshua says, he really does need to make a statement in this fight because it will resonate around the world like it did with Deontay Wilder when he poleaxed and banjoed, as I've used his expressions all week, hit Dominic Breazeale with a cannonball right hand.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned a little while ago you're wondering and you're interested in whether or not Andy Ruiz is going to come in a slight bit lighter. Would that be to his advantage, him coming in a little bit lighter? Would it be a benefit to him?
Not particularly, but it'll just be an indication of how hard he's trained for this fight. What he's put in since the win over Dimitrenko only 8 weeks ago. Beginning of April, remember, he fought him. It was only 8 weeks ago. He won in 5 rounds. So I do think, when I went to see him on that workout day about 16 days ago, he really was working hard in the really scorching heat of Los Angeles. And I do think that he is saying that his nutrition is getting better and better. He isn't the best of shapes. That's one thing that will happen today. When we see him stripped off, we're going to see a very honed, very physical. We saw him yesterday with his top off, Anthony Joshua, after the press conference at a commercial shoot when we worked with William Hill. We did some great things.
He was looking absolutely phenomenal, wasn't he?
He was, and he predicted a 7th round finish. I mean, the odds are most people favour him to win. By the 5th round, people are favouring him to use a big uppercut. We know that Andy Ruiz's jab is fast, and his hooks to the body and left hook to the face and the chin of Anthony Joshua will be dangerous. But Joshua's uppercut, he looks fantastic, very honed. Ruiz, it doesn't matter about aesthetics with Ruiz. Joshua's got to stay tight early on and stop Ruiz from bundling in and throwing those combinations of punches.
All right, so what the first weight we got in is 163 pounds, bang on.
Yep. I'm not even sure who that is right now, believe it or not. 163 pounds.
163 pounds, bang on.
These are the very first undercard fights here. It wasn't Andy Ruiz, I know that. I'm not sure.
I'll tell you that much. It definitely is Andy Ruiz. For those of you guys just joining us once again, we are live and direct at Madison Square Garden for the official Joshua Ruiz weigh-in. Now listen, the fight kicks off tomorrow night, but before that, we have been here in New York City creating so much content, so make sure you keep it plugged to IFL TV, to Sport Bible, and also to Seconds Out, because there's loads and loads of content. And don't forget, also check out William Hill as well across social media, across Instagram, across Facebook, and across Twitter, because we've got loads and loads and loads of content, exclusive interviews with the likes of Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, and absolutely everybody here at the Undercard. And absolutely everybody here at the Undercard.
Diego Fonseca now, undefeated from Los Angeles, young fighter. This is an opportunity for some of these younger guys. 164.2, 162.4 pounds. It's an opportunity for these very young fighters, particularly for Fonseca here, to put himself on a big scale. There won't be, on a big stage, there won't be a lot of people in when they fight. These are very much the undercard fights, but a major opportunity for them just to showcase and soak up being at the historic Madison Square Garden.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, even though the venue is not going to be absolutely packed when they fight.
One man and his dog. That's probably a service dog.
A service dog, yeah?
One man and his service dog, yeah.
But the question is, what would it mean for these fighters to fight here?
Well, they know the history, you know. Everybody knows the name of this venue. Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier fought here in 1971. Lennox Lewis fought Evander Holyfield in one of the most controversial heavyweight fights in history, the robbery fight they call it, when Lennox Lewis clearly won the fight, but Evander Holyfield got a decision. It got one decision. There was a draw from the British judge that night, Larry O'Connell, 115 apiece, and it was even reported that was there skullduggery, shenanigans going on with the judging? There wasn't. The 10 points must system is very subjective. Judges make mistakes sometimes. We saw that with Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez in their first fight. Gennady clearly won the fight, 7 rounds 5 or 8 rounds 4, but the judges got it wrong on the night. So this venue speaks of so many names. Sugar Ray Robinson, Rocky Marciano, Jake LaMotta, Joe Calzaghe fought against Roy Jones Jr., Nazim Hammett and Kevin Kelly had a Rock'em Sock'em Robots fight back in 1997. It just goes on and on and on. Jack Dempsey, all these big names, you know, Max Baer, all these fighters came here, had some amazing occasions here. And this is the 4th version of Madison Square Garden. It's been in different places. And by the way, it's named after a cycle track, the Madison that we have in the Olympics, because it's exactly the distance of the Madison race. That's why it's known as Madison Square Garden around the world.
All right, you see, listen. That's why we pay him the big bucks. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge is supreme.
Do you want me to do the Jabberwocky right now?
Give the Jabberwocky, hit him.
Not right now. We'll do that later.
I'll tell you, the knowledge of this man.
We've really got time to fill. I'm not giving you a CS.
Supreme.
Yeah, I'm not Lewis Carroll poem right now. Okay. So Jenkins, 161.6.
161.6 for Jenkins.
Austin Williams here coming in, looking in fantastic shape, by the way. Specimen, Dave.
I'm loving the hair.
Yeah, no, he looks good, looks really good.
I might need to grow mine out.
Yeah, a couple of pounds lighter, 159 pounds. Yeah, this could be a good fight, this.
Yeah, it's one you're looking forward to on the undercard.
Forward to, yeah. Listen,
a couple more men and a couple more dogs will be in there.
We'll be running around doing a William Hill Instagram while that's on.
Oh, yeah.
Interviewing all the stars turn up on the red carpet on the night, of course. Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Barry Hearn.
Yes. Look, Meek Mill's going to be in attendance. Jay-Z.
Yeah.
A bit of a P. Diddy himself. Alicia Keys, you know what I mean?
Who else are we going to be getting? I think there's a lot of stars coming. I can't think. Matt Damon coming, isn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think some of there's a lot of big names coming.
Huge,
I don't
huge
think the president's coming, but obviously he was a boxing promoter at one time.
Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he?
And there was talk. Andy Ruiz said he wanted to invite the president to come, but I don't know if he'll be in the plush seats on Saturday.
Listen, it's going to be an absolute spectacle of a venue, a spectacle of a night here at Madison Square Garden. Listen, even right now I can just feel it, the anticipation, the 5,000 Brits that are surrounding us right on top of us. If you guys could only see, it's incredible. Like I said, the spectacle that Eddie Hearn has brought to New York.
Yeah, but the other thing about this so far is that we are only seeing the crowd waiting in anticipation for all those British and Irish fighters to come out. Wait till Tommy Coyle, Buatsi, Katie Taylor, Callum Smith, and Anthony Joshua all come out.
You're going to hear them, although you can't see them, you will hear them.
Wait till they really start to come out, and we are going to make some noise with them.
Absolutely.
Noise.
Yes.
We're going to be getting them all up. They'll all be out of their seat. They might have just stepped off the plane, but there will be major noise.
There won't be time for any jet lag around here. There won't be time for any jet lag.
Listen, it's only a 5-hour time difference. You know, you get here, you land, you do the red eye, you play, and you watch the fights. That's what happens.
You do the red eye on the plane. Oh, Gareth, you're coming up with all sorts of absolute moments of gold here.
I can see Virgil Hunter over there lining up, I expect. Who's coming? Here we go. So Vladimir Hernandez coming out now again. We're still on the undercard fights. It's amazing how quiet the audience is. They're a bit like us. They're anticipating the last 6 or 7 fights on the card so they can really go spare in here. I cannot wait for it. No, because you know yourself, when Anthony Joshua, you've done the stadium fights with him that he's been fighting in the UK the last 4 times. It's absolutely monumental. There's nothing like it. Even the O2 Arena with Dillian White's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, there is absolutely nothing like the British fans. The amount of passion that you can feel, that you can hear, that you can see. They love the sport of boxing, and they love Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, the Russian-Mexican Vladimir Hernandez on the scales right now. Stop poking me.
Mate,
I'm almost
listen, let me tell you something. We might end up throwing down this mic and going at it ourselves, mate. All right? You don't want this. You don't want this smoke, Gareth. You don't want it. You don't want what I've got.
This is what Ruiz and Joshua will look like later.
That's what me and Joshua look like.
They will. They will. There's a 7-inch reach advantage for Joshua. I'm not convinced he's 6'2", as it says on BoxRec.
He's 5'11".
No, he's 6 foot. He's 6 foot. What are you?
I'm 5'11".
Yeah, he's just a little bit taller than us. I reckon he's 6 foot tall. For me, okay, here he comes. This is the guy, Suleiman Sissoko, who is now managed by Anthony Joshua.
All right.
He's an absolute beast, this guy. As I say, Anthony Joshua spotted him. He's very, very impressed with him. Look at his, he's an absolute animal.
He's in absolute
156
shape.
and 3/4 pounds. 166 and 3/4 pounds.
Now
just under super middleweight, of course.
We saw him over at the workout. What did you see from him at the public workout?
Well, he's one of those guys, a bit like Buatsi. He's got an incredibly teak tough body. He's exactly like Buatsi. He really lets it go when he goes in there. He likes to, I mean, look at the physique on the guy, you know, and he's got a pound and a half to spare for inside the super middleweight limit, you know. No, Joshua, Anthony Joshua believes he's destined for very great things. He said when he saw him, he's got to know him, and I think he's being trained by Virgil Hunter, who trained Andre Ward, of course, who, when he finished his career a couple of years ago, really was regarded as the #1 pound for pound in the world, because Floyd Mayweather had kind of slipped away by then. But Virgil Hunter training him in Oakland, Amir Khan he trained, so many great fighters he's trained, but also Virgil comes from that old school black street fighting, the design of kind of like being able to twist a hand, exposing the body, doing all kinds of things, street tricks, street smarts, ring smarts.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Listen, who are you looking forward to seeing the most next? Which of all of these fights have the most needle?
Wow, the most needle. Do you know we haven't seen a lot of
seen much needle, have we, Sophie? No.
We haven't. It's very interesting. There hasn't been an incident all week. We thought Tommy Coyle might do that with Chris Algieri, and then Tommy at the press conference, the Undercard press conference, of course, said to him, "He's much better looking than me. He's much better dressed than me," and it like just any vim, any kind of
animosity
acid between them just evaporated, didn't it? So we didn't get anything between them. And Algieri said, "Look, I'm slightly longer than him. I'm Ranger. I'm going to use that to my advantage."
Just get stepping into the arena. We
The
can
mariachi
band and a gospel choir as well.
Gospel choir. The gospel choir here. The mariachi band have just arrived. We are going to be dancing up here in a minute.
Tommy Coyle.
Amazing. Here he comes.
Coyle is coming up.
We just talked about
and now you can hear. Now you can hear the British audience. You can hear them. The sounds. It's incredible.
We're going to get this all the way now, because now we see the British and Irish invasion. So the mariachi band is in. They're going to be playing for Andy Ruiz. The gospel choir for Anthony Joshua. It's brilliant.
It's going to be
Tommy Coyle here, and now we'll get Chris Algieri, a local guy. Hopefully we'll get some boos for him. Shall we boo him? Let's boo him.
Let's boo him. Let's hope. Let's hope.
Junior welterweight champion, he is the pride of Huntington, fighting out of Green Lawn, New York. Please welcome the Fighting Collegian.
He fought Manny Pacquiao, he fought Amir Khan, lost to both of them. I was there in Macau when he fought Manny Pacquiao, was down several times. Pacquiao was brilliant that night, but Algieri is a specimen. He looks fantastic. He looked great all week, didn't he? He's a clinical nutritionist, remember?
Listen,
and he's got a book out with boxing recipes.
Absolutely. Look at them. Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Listen, you can't take us anywhere, can you?
No.
You can't take us anywhere. Now Tommy Coyle is just about to touch the scales. Look at him. Listen to the sound.
He looks in fantastic shape as well.
It's incredible. We're just waiting for the number. 129.6.
139.
139.6.
It's a light welterweight, a super lightweight fight. Limit is 140.
139.6. How does that? What are you expecting from Chris Algieri?
They want him to take his socks off. You never know what he might be carrying in his socks. More recipes.
More recipes.
A bit of
booing from a bit of pantomime from the British audience. It's incredible. I just love it. I just love it. 139.8.
Yes, for Chris Algieri. So they're both under the light welterweight limit. They needed to be, because obviously there's an intercontinental belt on the line, isn't there? Major night for Tommy Coyle. A real step up in class as well. And he stepped up in weight as well in some ways. So it's terrific for him. And, you know, we've been around him all week and he's been absolutely loving it. I spoke to him even last Saturday on my Talk Sports show, and it was brilliant to hear his enthusiasm and his drive and what it means to him to be here. He's coming to the end of his career. He's already got a career as with a market stall he's had all his life in the middle of Hull. So this is just an occasion to savour for him.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's an incredible moment, an incredible, how would I put it? It's an incredible opportunity for him to fight here at the Garden.
Yeah, it was. I mean, listen, I went to an open-air fight of his with Luke Campbell at Hull's rugby league stadium, and it was a brilliant night, and he lost to Luke Campbell. But it was still an amazing occasion. But for him to go from that to this, and he's only 6 fights down on the card, it's just amazing for him. I mean, you know, he's been made up all week, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been absolutely living the dream. He's been seeing it as it's phenomenal. It's an incredible moment. But yeah, go on.
But look at them. There's big height and reach advantages there. You can see it.
Chris Algieri.
Algieri's easily 3 or 4 inches taller, and he will use it on Saturday night. And he'll counter-punch Tommy Coyle. It's a very tough fight for him.
Let's look at this. Let's look at this.
No, there's respect there as well, though.
There is.
It's good respect.
But there's some talk. There's some talk going on.
A little bit. But they just want to have a war. No, there's proper respect between those two. They're going to come out and deliver. They both want to give the fans something to remember, and that's what Tommy's all about in this event.
Let you know what the odds are. The odds, Chris Algieri is a favourite at 1-4. Tommy Coyle is at 3-1, and a draw is at 20-1. What's your thoughts on those odds, Gareth?
Well, I don't think it'll be a draw. 3-1, you know, I think they're all fair. I mean, we spoke to Jamie Moore, his coach, about that, and he said, I think, you know, they're fair enough because Algieri's fought at a higher level. On paper, he is the favourite, and ought to be. But, you know, Coyle is looking for something special from himself. He's just got to not to be too aggressive and too bullish early on in this fight.
Oh, listen, I agree with you 110%. I agree with you on that, from that perspective.
That's an improvement because normally it's 100%. 110. You know why that is? It's because we're at Madison Square Garden, you're raising the stakes.
Listen, the bar is being raised.
All the time.
All the time.
Tell them, Dave.
Listen, and the bar's going to be raised from every single one of these fighters. I think all of these Brits that are out here fighting and getting the opportunity in this, to fight in this incredible arena, they're going to lift their level to a higher place. What do you think?
Yes.
That's it. Yes.
So the crowd's gone quiet again because it's a Mexican-American fighter coming out on the card now.
Making his way to the stage, the defending champion. He's a 2016 Olympic
Oh, it's my guy. You know who it is. The one and only.
Well, yeah. Well, Periban is on stage, and a real star of British boxing coming out now in Joshua Boazzi. Croydon, London.
Hear the sound. Hear the sound.
You get that noise.
You got people on their feet. You got people on their feet.
You got people on their feet. You got people on their feet. They're on their feet. They're on their feet. It's unbelievable. And he's only walking onto the stage to weigh in.
Goodness.
Imagine what it's going to be like tomorrow night.
Unbelievable.
Periban not looking in brilliant shape, I got to say, but he is a very, very clever boxer. Obviously beaten by James DeGale, so there's something to mark by. Obviously obviously beaten by James DeGale, so there's something to mark by. Obviously that was at super middleweight, but there is something about this guy. He's got skills. Do you know what? I expect Boazzi to deal with this guy within 6 rounds.
Within 6 rounds.
172 is 3 pounds inside the light heavyweight limit, but I expect our man will be like just a tiny bit inside it, looking very lean.
Very, very.
He hasn't had the barber treatment yet.
No. That goes on. Probably goes on tonight. It goes on tonight.
Do you know if he's found a barber?
I have no idea yet, but I'm gonna hook him up if he hasn't. I'll send him up 110th Street, Harlem.
Well, you've had yours done already?
Yeah. No, he hasn't. Pardon?
Really?
What is it?
Yours done already?
No, he's not done already.
No, yours.
Mine. No, I haven't had mine done yet. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Listen. Tomorrow I'm gonna have a nice little shape up ready. 174. Bang on. 174. Bang on.
174 pounds. Crowd nice and happy about that. He always makes weight so easily. That's what I love about him. And you know, the thing is about Joshua, he doesn't look a massive light heavyweight. But when he comes and stands with us, you actually feel how tall he is, don't you? You see that he's actually a very big man, but it's deceptive with him, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
On top of that, he also carries a certain presence to himself.
No question.
You can feel it when he's around you. There's a certain air of greatness about him that he's going to achieve a lot of great things.
Yeah, I agree. I do. I've always felt that about him. I've told you the story. I've told the viewers this many times, that when I met him when he was going to the Olympics, I met him in the GB team. I sat down and had an hour interview with him, and I just liked his spirituality, I liked his presence, and I just said to him, man, and I watched him spar, and I just said, man, there is something about this guy. And I said to him, you're going to win a medal in Rio, and you're going to be you're going to be a world champion eventually. You just have a feel for some of those people.
How far away do you think he is from a world title?
It depends on opportunity, but I think it might be a year and a half away from
About a year and a half? He's headlining his own card if he comes out of this, which is absolutely incredible for him, isn't it?
Yeah, of course
over in Manchester Arena. That's, you know, it's showing that there's so much faith in him as a fighter.
Well, I think it's great that he's headlining Manchester, because really, as a Croydon boy, he really ought to be headlining in London. But if they can put him on as a headliner in Manchester, it's amazing.
I think part of that's probably Eddie wants to increase the support he has around the country, to not just be honed in London. He's going to have that London audience anyway. He's going to have that London fan base, but just to increase his global appeal. But before that, increase his domestic appeal within the United Kingdom.
No, absolutely right, David. I mean, you're becoming the expert and I'm becoming the presenter. But it's because I'm holding the microphone. But the funny thing is about all of this, what I love today is the rhythm of the weigh-in, where they're not rushing them out, and we're getting a chance to really. People are getting a chance to really absorb the place, the atmosphere. All these people will be back in here tomorrow night, in 24 hours time, taking their hot dogs and their beers and, having had a day in the sun in New York and done sightseeing. And it's brilliant that fans, it's that never, in my time, 28 years covering boxing, I've never known it as powerful, where so many people that don't normally, they call them the diehards, the diehards and the casuals, where so many casuals want to come, people from the mainstream sports fandom want to come and have a day, have a night, have a holiday around a fight event. It's brilliant for the sport.
It's absolutely incredible. It's even back home we see it, people dress up to the nines. It's a good event. People are, people come in groups. Loads of women, a lot of females come together in groups of 8. They, they stay up early to buy their tickets, especially, and that's what Josh, to be honest with you,
groups of females in 8.
In 8s.
Where do you find those groups of females?
Listen, let me tell you what you want to know. Don't worry, I'll hook you up. I'll sort you out Saturday night. You know what I mean? I'll let you know.
I'm busy interviewing the boxers, and you're escorting women in groups of 8 around arenas. I don't believe it. So Ray Robinson coming out now. Hey, by the way, Sugar Ray Robinson fought Jake LaMotta 6 times. They fought him many times, and Jake LaMotta fought Sugar Ray Robinson so many times. He said he did fight him so many times he nearly got diabetes.
Listen, that lyric, that bar for me is one of the best all week. When you hit me with that was too funny. But obviously, we're talking about Mr. Ray Robinson, hold the sugar. And how do you see this fight panning out?
Well, look, Ray Robinson's a very, very experienced fighter. It's a big step up for
2016 Olympian as a professional.
It's a very big step up. It's a big step up, yeah? Oh, no, it's a very big step up for
Josh Kelly is a very talented boxer, very talented fighter, but Ray Robinson is really experienced. It's a proper step up for him. Ray Robinson is long, strong, and experienced. So Josh is, 9-0 in his career, I think. It's a step up in terms of occasion for him. On the Joshua undercards, of course. He's loved it all week. He's been kind of brilliant with us and everyone all week. He's been on great form. He's built for these kind of occasions. His trainer, Adam Booth, really tells us that he's someone special. He's got his own style, hands low, great puncher, but up against Ray Robinson, he's up against a very long, experienced, powerful fighter who ain't giving it up easily here in his homeland, believe me.
Absolutely. He weighed in at 146 even.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the weight?
Yeah, it's good. He looks fantastic. I mean, listen, the guy looks in fantastic shape. He always is, Ray Robinson. But so is Josh Kelly. And look at him. He looks fantastic.
Mr. PB.
Pulling out his boxer shorts, make sure the
bulge is in the correct place.
Yeah, the bulge falls to the right side. Or is it the left side?
To the left. Wherever the light hits.
And our favourite ring card girl who gave him a 10 the other day.
Yep.
Don't tell his wife.
Yeah, no.
Fiance. On his left over there, she gave him a 10 out of 10, didn't she?
Oh, she did give him a 10 out of 10. You see, he's got the Olympic rings right there on his left-hand side as well. What does being in the Olympics and part of the GBT?
Well,
what does that mean? What experience does that give him?
Well, I mean, look, the whole setup in Sheffield is amazing for all these guys. They are virtually professionals while they're there, David. And going to an Olympic Games, living in the village with 3,000 other athletes, all at the pinnacle of their own sports. And these guys love the occasion. All right, he didn't come back with a medal, but it was a great experience for him. I think he turned pro at the right time, didn't want to stay as a pro and do com games or...
as an amateur, you mean?
As an amateur, yeah. So he's turned pro. He can come up under the masterful shadow of people like Anthony Joshua, already world champions. He will grow very quickly, and I think with Josh Kelly, I think we'll see him in a world title fight between maybe in 18 months' time.
Oh, seriously?
18 months, 2 years' time. Oh yeah, it's a great division that though.
It is. It's a great division, and it's only getting better. I'm going to hit you guys up with some of the odds for the main event. The main event is still coming. For those of you guys that are in,
I just want to watch the face-off.
Yeah. Let's see it.
Yeah, I do like the sternness with these two men. They
Very
really are.
stern.
Yeah, they are.
Very, very stern.
Yeah, it's been a great fight. This.
You can see that he knows it's not going to be a joke at all. You can see that he knows it's a very, very, very serious test.
Look at Kelly eyeing him up. What doesn't want to move? This is a great stare down. A great stare down there.
Oh my days.
Really?
Is there no handshakes? No handshakes, huh? Nah, no handshakes.
So finally a bit of venom on the card.
Oh! I like that. I live for that.
They
were, I mean, inject it into my veins.
One man wasn't going to put his hand up to shake the other one before that. It was brilliant. It was a handshake standoff.
It was almost like someone was going to get left hanging and nobody wanted to put their hand out first. You know what I mean? Oh my days.
So we're getting to the business end of the weigh-in now. Obviously on that fight, Kelly the favourite, I think, in this fight, marginally, isn't he?
He is the marginal favourite. I haven't got his odds up right here, but he is definitely the marginal favourite on that.
So we're really, the crowd's going to start going crazy here again in a minute, because as I say, we're getting to the business end of the card now. The fights that, the world title fights. We've got 3 world title fights on this card, of course. I'm trying to remember how many belts altogether. I think in those 3 world title fights, there's something like 11 belts up for grabs.
Incredible.
Quite extraordinary, really. And a new belt for the women. The Ring Magazine, Doug Fisher, the editor, has created. I write a column for Ring Magazine. I'm part of their team as well.
Let him know. Let him know.
I just no, but I love the fact that they did create a belt for the women's lightweight title, because it was the right time to do it, because you got Delphine Pearson, 43-1, 10 years as a pro, a really great champion. We spoke to her earlier in the week. She's a policewoman back in Belgium. Katie Taylor, undefeated as a pro, 5 world championships as an amateur in a row, 6 European championships, gold medal in the Olympics. She's unified 3 of the world title belts so far, but to be the undisputed champion of the world, she needs to beat Delphine Pearson. Don't go there with that debate right now.
I was just going to ask, obviously there's a wealth of experience on one side, and obviously there's a wealth of talent and ability on the other. What wins?
And toughness on both sides.
Exactly. So how does that, in fact, let me not even ask what wins. How does that fight play out from that perspective?
Well, Taylor's got to time Pearson. Pearson's an awkward fighter who creates angles with her body shape. She's tall and angular. Katie likes to create angles with movement, shifting movement, and has got very fast hand speed. And she has only got one hand speed, fast. It's got one speed. That's all she does. That's how she fights. So she's just got to find. Here they come. Just been building them up, and here they come. Here they come.
Do you know what I love about that as well? I love how excited the crowd here is for this fight. Like, it's incredible to see women's boxing at such a high.
Well, it got a real kickstart from 3 medals being available at the Olympic Games in 2012 at flyweight, lightweight and middleweight. Katie was the lightweight winner in that. Her opponent coming up on stage now behind us, Delphine Pearson, WBC lightweight champion. As I say, lost once in 44 bouts, over 10 years as a pro. As she said, there's not a lot of professional boxing. By the way, it's her first fight outside Belgium, her first fight in the United States. So that might count, but she's seemed very cool all week. Let's hope she makes weight, and that's all. Here she comes. Here we go. The Irish diaspora are in.
Yeah, the Irish flags are coming out as well. See the Irish flags coming out. It's incredible. Oh, look! People to their feet all over the arena.
Yeah, there is major support. There's real proper. Well, what I like, there is also support from the real boxing fans around the world for Katie Taylor as well. There are so many people up and out of their seats for her here. It's incredible, actually. Here she comes, $1 million baby herself.
Listen to that.
There we go. Yeah.
Hear it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. $1 million baby herself. Here she comes.
People that are on their feet up there. Look, it's insane.
Well, the thing,
incredible.
remember on the East Coast here, there's a huge Irish diaspora.
Yes.
And they do love they really support their fighters. And as Katie is going to make her way to the scales now, she's always in phenomenal shape. You know,
and she's just brought out a brand new documentary, a series about her, isn't it? On
I've
Netflix.
watched Katie.
You've seen it?
I think it's one documentary.
Yeah, one doc, yeah.
Yeah, it's
One
brilliant.
doc.
Fly on the wall docu. She's a very private person, very shy, very timid. She's not like us with big loud voices. You know, big.
You've got to cradle in to
You
hear
have to
her.
cradle in to hear what she's saying. You have to crane right in. She's got two things on her mind at all times: fighting and God. And that's what she does.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
We see the WBC belt being held.
Look at her. She's in great shape.
Here it comes. It's Katie Taylor. She's just taken to the scale here. Listen to that sound, man. It's just incredible. It's just incredible.
134.6 pounds, just inside the 135 pounds women's lightweight limit. So the Ring Magazine belt and all her other belts will be on the line. Let's hope Delphine makes the weight as well. Well, she's already weighed in. Maybe I missed Delphine. Sorry, she was inside the limit. I'm being told by Steven Spielberg, our producer over here, that we are. She was inside the limit. So, and I was getting so excited about Katie.
Mate, I can't believe Spielberg's up here, mate.
We're getting so excited about the crowd, we forgot about Delphine Pearson. And that's the important thing in this. Don't write off Delphine Pearson. This is the biggest fight of her life, and the biggest fight of her career, and the biggest fight of Katie Taylor's career so far. But she does have the skills and the persona and the standing to go on, and then the interest in people to go on and be the best woman fighter of all time.
And let me ask you this one question, right? How important is this fight in the history of women's boxing?
Oh, it's really important. Look, a women's lightweight belt by the Ring Magazine's being created for this. You can see that Delphine Pearson is slightly longer in all her dimensions, and she will try and use her range and awkwardness when they do fight. Shake hands, nice bow. You rarely get the animosity between the women. Well, not Katie anyway.
Absolutely.
Both those women do their talking in the ring. And remember, Delphine Pearson is a sharpshooter. Remember, she told us she trains the guys with the guns.
Yeah, she does. She does. She trains the police.
Yeah.
She trains hand-to-hand combat as well. Listen, she's an absolute character. And that's what I love about boxing. There are so much characters involved in the sport of
stories
boxing.
are
It's
incredible. The storylines are incredible. Yeah.
Look, I'm holding myself back from actually shaking my leg here because listen, the vibes, the music, the tunes, it's incredible, isn't it? Look at you. Go on, Gareth. Let him know what you can do. Let him see. Let him see. Let me hold this for a second.
I want those groups of 8 women that follow you around in the arena to just come and dance.
I was gonna say, let me hold this for a second and let you entertain with your hips. Go on, Gareth. Listen, if you haven't shared this stream yet, this is the time for you to share it because obviously this is a rare moment, a rare occasion where the one and only legendary Mr. Gareth A. Davis is out here live on air showing us what he can do.
You want to spend some of the evenings with me then, baby, because I tell you, after 6, when it's tequila hour, it goes crazy around me, you know? I'm just dancing my way through America. Anyway, let's get back to the real deal.
Get back to the
There's
real
not
deal.
a lot going on stage at the moment. The drums are bouncing. Michael Buffer's up there. I'm sure he's going to do some major announcing very soon. All we got left is Callum Smith and Hassan Ndam. We've got the #1 spot in the super middleweight division. Hassan Ndam, very rugged fighter. Oh, here we go. They can see Anthony Joshua on the other side of the screen. You start to hear that chant. But Callum Smith and Hassan Ndam are way in. And then, of course, that's the chief support. And then we are only left with Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, IBF, WBA, WBO heavyweight champion of the world, defending his belts on Saturday night here in the main event. It'll be around 10 o'clock at night. Around about 3. By the way, if you're watching, setting your alarms for about 3 a.m. or 2 a.m., you won't miss very much. I reckon if you set your alarm for 1 a.m., you'll get all these main card fights talking about. But I expect Joshua and Andy Ruiz to be in the ring at about 3 a.m. on Sunday morning.
Absolutely. Now, for those of you guys that are just joining us, let me hit you guys up with some quick odds so you know exactly how it's going down. And once again, I'll let you know you won't find a better place for round-by-round betting than William Hill. We beat everybody. There's nobody else shots in the game than us. But let me let you know exactly how it goes down. About betting, Anthony Joshua is at 1-20. The draw is at 33-1, and Andy Ruiz is at 9-1. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, there's massive odds, massive underdog odds, but Ruiz has really come down over the week, because I think it was 25-1 at the beginning of the week.
Absolutely, people are believing.
No, they do, and that's what happens in fight week, because people see him, he gets talked up more, he does workouts, people see the speed of his hands up close, he talks a good game, he's had a good presence all week, he's been very relaxed and calm, he's been a pleasure to be around, and also, you know, people, Joseph Parker's been here talking him up, for example, today. Absolutely. Saying when they went 12 rounds, he's a very, very good boxer. Parker went 12 rounds with Anthony Joshua as well. So the comparisons start to find feet and get a narrative and come alive.
Oh, it's time. It's time. It's time. Mr. Smith.
Callum Smith about to make his way on stage, yeah. One of 4 boxing brothers from Liverpool. They've all fought in world title fights. What an incredible familial story where their mum hates boxing, but she's been washing kit for 30 years at Auburn Boxing. A lot of support for Callum Smith. Big Liverpool fan, of course.
I see a few Liverpool flags coming
Oh yeah,
up.
well, I mean, big support for him, and he'll be finding somewhere to watch the Champions League final tomorrow. That'll relax him on the day of the fight.
Well, it depends on who wins.
No, but it's still something for him to have his mind off and enjoy the big occasion, the Champions League final in Azerbaijan, isn't it?
No. It's in Madrid.
Oh, it's in Madrid. What was it?
Europa League.
Oh yeah. Oh damn, of course it was. Shows how much football I follow. In Madrid tomorrow night, and he'll be able to.
Spielberg moving us along.
Yeah, Spielberg. Yeah. 166 pounds, 2 pounds inside the 168 pound super middleweight limit for Hassan Dam. But here's Callum Smith to the scales. Let's have a little look.
Absolute consummate professionals so far. We've had everybody making weight.
Well, let's just see if he makes weight here first of all. So here he comes, Mundo Smith. I can see his dad and his brothers over there clapping.
He looks in phenomenal shape, though, doesn't he?
He's a very, very freakishly big super middleweight, 6'3". There you go, just inside the limit, 167.6 pounds, just under 12 stone. It's incredible that he gets that 6'3" frame. Remember, he's 3 inches taller than Andy Ruiz.
That's insane.
Yeah.
According to BoxRec, he's only one inch taller.
Listen, he could fit 6 of his legs into one of Andy Ruiz's legs as well. And you can fit 6 of his bodies into Andy Ruiz's upper torso as well. So, you know, no, but there are shapes for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
No, he's a freakishly tall super middleweight, getting robed again now. I'm really looking forward to seeing the height differential between these guys, because Dam also fought a middleweight and he was quite a long middleweight. So I just want to see how
what they look like.
You watch this. You watch this. The height differential here and the reach differential is enormous. So look at the difference there.
Oh, look at me! Look at him.
I mean, Eddie Hearn's supposed to be 6'5", right? But Callum Smith towers over him, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's insane.
Isn't that insane?
He's supposed to be a 6'5". What's going on here? People are fudging the numbers.
I think when we got here this week, he was 6'3", still a young man. I think he might have grown a couple of inches this week.
You think he's still on? You think he's still, the growth is still happening?
New York. He's been out in the rain and the sun, and he's grown.
He's been out in it.
Really looking forward to that fight. And as we've said all week, and the key thing about the fight with Hassan Dam is that he's got a similar style to Saul Canelo Alvarez. So we might see a template for Smith fighting Canelo hopefully next year. We're going to have a little listen to Michael Buffer.
We are going to have a little listen to Michael Buffer.
The Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York, USA. Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing in association with PGB Promotions and AJ Boxing will proudly present 12 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship.
Boxing fans, are you ready? Let's get this party started!
To the UK to support their fighters.
Absolutely.
You know,
we don't.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, so it's incredible that these fans are like,
savage. You're hearing that? Who are you?
And they're quite partisan.
Yeah, they are. They are.
A stentorian crowd in here right now. Look it up.
Stentorian?
Yeah, biased.
Oh, all right.
Biased crowd.
Listen to that.
On stage now,
Listen to that. It's insane because it's like you'd think he's fighting at home. We saw that at the weigh-in with Tyson Fury over in LA. It was as if he's the home fighter here.
Yeah, it's as good as any weigh-in back home. I mean, some of those weigh-ins have had where we've kind of been in Islington and places like that with matchroom recently.
Yes.
There have been great atmospheres and people come on a Friday afternoon. It's amazing. But here we go. They're just about to come out. There's Andy Ruiz.
Yes.
Just do it, it says.
Absolutely.
He's about to come out. We can see him ready to come out. It must be very,
absolutely.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
There we are. The mariachi is just about to play. You know what this music reminds me of, Gareth?
What?
It reminds me of me and you in the barrio.
Oh man, what fun we had with it. Here it comes.
You can't even hear the sound of the mariachi band.
And let's remember, Andy Ruiz taking the fight on 6 weeks' notice. A record of 33 fights, 32 wins, 1 loss to Joseph Parker, who's here. He's a brilliant boxer, 110 amateur fights, only lost 5 of them. He's got very good hands, very fast hands. There's never been a Mexican heavyweight champion. So there's so much at stake for him on Saturday night. So Andy Ruiz Jr.
There we are, there he is. Look at him.
You know what? They chanted him higher, but they didn't boo him.
They didn't. They didn't. No, because
it been Gerald Miller, he would have got screamed out of the
Mate, there might have been some tomatoes thrown. There might have been, oh yeah. Ooh.
And these knockouts of Anthony Joshua showing up on the screen above us, that's what gets the crowd so excited here. They're going to go away, have a drink, have some dinner, do their sightseeing tomorrow, get in here early, get dressed up, as we will be. You haven't worn a shirt all.
No, because I've been saving it. Tomorrow, you know me. You know on fight night.
Oh, yeah.
You know on fight night I done it up. And that will definitely be happening. Hold on, let's leave it to Michael Buffer to speak right now.
He's giving us a wave. He's giving us a wave. There we go. The Mexicans, La Raza as they call them. He's feeling it's his destiny. He's ready to take his top off and show us his big belly. But it doesn't matter. Joshua's told us all week, the aesthetics don't matter. Here comes Anthony Joshua. The gospel choir can't be heard.
The gospel choir has literally just about to start. And here comes Anthony Joshua. Here comes Anthony Joshua. To the sound of his own fans, just singing out, oh, Anthony Joshua.
He's going to shake hands. See, there's such sportsmanship between these two. They're out there. They're going to look at them. They're spacing off. You know what? I've got to say, Ruiz doesn't look tiny next to him.
He doesn't. We thought that he was going to look a lot more smaller, didn't we?
Joshua's not lording it over him either. They're all just really, it's almost like a party atmosphere rather than 2 guys who are going to fight each other on Saturday night. Joshua, obviously, a massive favourite in this fight. 22 fights, undefeated, holder of the IBF, WBA and WBO world title belts. He wants the undisputed title. He's not going to get it for another year. Deontay Wilder has already said he's going to face Luis Ortiz later this year, the WBC champion from Alabama, who across the river just a few days ago knocked out Dominic Breazeale in the most brutal fashion. Anthony Joshua, even though he's being friendly up there with Andy Ruiz now, in about 24 hours' time, he'll be sharpening his mind and his tools, this one and that one, the big uppercuts, ready to finish the denouement of this week in dramatic fashion, dramatic, emphatic fashion, which he needs to do to make a statement and put his flag down in the American market and appeal to the fans and the broadcasters here and let them know that he is laying claim to the heavyweight title and heavyweight stakes in it.
Absolutely. What changes? What changed on the night for Anthony Joshua? What's it like with that switch being flicked?
Well, I say the switch has to be flicked against this guy. Look at him, very strong looking, very powerful looking. He's got fast hands. We know that. As he told us this week, he was fighting on the streets at the age of 10, not against other kids, but the police and men. People were calling him a chubby little fat kid with man boobs, and he used to get in fights with people over it. He looks very proud up there to me. He looks happy with the occasion. Let's wait for his weight now.
268 pounds.
He's 268 pounds, about 4 or 5 pounds lighter than he was when he fought.
Like you said, you thought he'd come in a little bit lighter.
It's not that much lighter, but you know, at that kind of weight. But you know, it doesn't matter. It's not about aesthetics with Andy Ruiz Jr. It's about, can he get on the inside and land his combinations to body and head with his hooking combinations and his fast jab. Can he get on the inside against Anthony Joshua?
What do you think?
I think he will be able to at some point, but he might just get hit by a big left and right down the pipe. You just never know. It could be over at any point. But Joshua's predicting the 7th round, isn't
Round
he?
7. And
round 7.
Oh, listen, it's
And
all
most
going
people
up
think
now.
it's the 5th round.
Here we are.
And here's Joshua.
The AJ theme tune that he's somehow he's taking it. He's taking it over, hasn't he?
Yeah.
This song. It's become the actual Anthony Joshua theme tune. Anthony Joshua said he'd knock him out in round 7. Round 7 is at 10-1, the same as round 6. Round 6 and 7 are both at 10-1.
Yeah.
Round 1 is at 12-1. Round 2 is at 10-1 also. 247.8 pounds. And there's a little smile and smirk on your face as you heard that.
It's a great weight. It's his best weight.
His best weight.
112. He wanted to be about 112, 114 kilos. It's that. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
He's spot on what he wanted to be. He looks fantastic. Incredibly relaxed. I'd like to see the stare down now.
Listen.
It will all change on Saturday night.
It's all.
He does look so relaxed, really soaking up the occasion, puts his arm up, people want to wave to him, he's just enjoying it so much. The only people I feel sorry for are the gospel choir, because you could not hear a word of their song.
It's true. Well, at least they're getting paid.
Are they?
We hope so.
They're probably from his church.
Oh, all right, you think so?
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh! He came out hand swinging. He came out hand swinging.
That. I like that so much.
Yes. Yes.
Just shut.
You see, he's about to go into mode. And I think AJ's looking into his eyes saying, all right.
Here we go. This
okay,
is
you
where
want
it's
some of this.
changing.
Yeah,
This
you can
is
see
where
the
it's
transformation
changing.
happening here.
Yeah. He's swinging his arms around there, you know.
Oh, a little bit of pectoral touch
Lovely.
in there.
Brilliant.
A little bit of pectoral touch in there. It all matters. It all means something, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I liked it. I liked Ruiz's body language there,
I
David.
loved it. I love the fact that he came out with his arms moving.
Throwing that.
Absolutely.
Wanted to let his hands go. He's just trying to size him up.
Absolutely.
See how it felt to him, you know. Absolutely brilliant. Loved it that he did that.
Listen, it all got, as it,
Here we
listen,
go.
that says,
Come on.
look, there you go, there you go, hands moving, and AJ's looking at him like, all right, you come for this.
I like it. They're real
this.
gentlemen pugilists, these guys.
Listen.
But Ruiz was just telling us, with his hands, I'm going to let them go tomorrow night. I'm going to give it all I've got. I'm doing it for La Raza. Yeah.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Here we go. Yeah, it's very
incredible.
impressive. This is boxing at its greatest. When two guys, all right, we love the animosity fights, but we also love the gentleman pugilist. Joshua loves it when it's like this. He just wants to flick the switch on the night. Andy Ruiz is a nice man. He's got a great opportunity, an opportunity he didn't know he was going to have 6 weeks ago, to win 3 of the world title belts. He's earning $3 million US. Anthony Joshua's probably earning around 20 for this fight, but it's his launch in America with DAZN. It's so exciting to be here. It's been an amazing week.
It has been.
The set pieces are done. It's fight time!
Oh, listen. listen, I can just feel the excitement off you, Gareth. I can feel it off you. I can feel it off these 5,000 people in here. And I'm just sitting here just thinking to myself, it's going to be absolutely incredible in here tomorrow. I can't even put it into words how I'm feeling about this, the Anthony Joshua show coming to the United States of America, for America to see, feel, taste, and hear exactly what boxing is like on the other side.
As I say, iconic venue, it's worth watching. It's the middle of the night, the Champions League final will be over. Anthony Joshua, 3 of his world title belts on the line against this Mexican-American who wants to make history. In 55 fights between them, there's only been 1 loss to a man sitting down here, Joseph Parker, on points. They're both formidable heavyweights. Joshua needs to make a statement. Ruiz wants to make a statement and change the course of history. I cannot wait for tomorrow night. I want to thank all the viewers for joining us today.
Absolutely.
They put up with us blathering on and on and on. Our over-enthusiasm. It's been an amazing occasion. It's felt amazing. The launch of Anthony Joshua here begins tomorrow night. Don't miss it.
Don't miss it at all.